Jay for Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm inside the studio, which means it's live. You know the dance by now. Get involved in the chat and the comments and let us know what you think about all the latest stories we'll be covering. We're going to be talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, Antony, Lisandro Martinez, and how those three in particular are making everyone fume, which is great to see. And we love to see people fuming. Not United fans fuming, but rival fans, pundits, ex-players of other teams, those kind of people. Even the director of football, Ajax, he's annoyed again. We've upset him. Antony's upset him. So we'll get into all that. So make sure you are getting involved as well. And if you've not done already, subscribe to the channel. Loads of people in the comments already. Magnum Skywolf says, morning, Jay. Greg Frost says, morning, dudes. Charlie Hughes says, morning. Right, we'll start off by talking about Ronaldo. Now, what's happened here is there's a bit of footage that's come out from the game against Arsenal, like footage that wasn't really seen at first, that sort of, you know, quashed a few rumours and sort of, you know, stories that were doing the rounds about certain things, which I'll explain now. So one of the main stories about Ronaldo is how unhappy he is, how he spat his dummy out, how he don't want to be here and all this sort of stuff. Now, we know he wanted to move and he didn't get it, but that doesn't mean that he's down tools. We've seen that he hasn't. Now, you might not think that Ronaldo, you know, should be given many chances. You might think he should start. You might, you know, be on the fence with it or whatever. But there's no denying when he came on, he put the effort in. You could see that against Arsenal. He did. He was running himself to the ground. He was battling for headers as well. He was winning certain headers. He was fuming when he didn't get a square ball off Bruno Fernandes, by the way, which is just Ronaldo, innit? But there's footage emerged of him when Arsenal get their equaliser, of him sort of geeing everyone up, like, come on, you can see it there. I know it's a bit of a blurred pic because it's a screenshot, but he's saying to everyone, come on, let's go. Do you know what I mean? Let's dig in. Let's do this. Let's get back into it. Giving everyone a bit of a sort of, you know, a kick up the backside, shall we say, and also, you know, an arm around the shoulder where needed. It's showing a bit of leadership. He's, you know, one of the most experienced players on the planet. He's won the lot, including the Premier League 3 times. He knows what the Premier League's about. He knows what winning's about. He knows what it's like to play at Old Trafford and sort of win football matches. So that was good to see. Whether you like Ronaldo or not, and I think, you know, most of us do, but what you might be a little bit miffed at what's gone on with him wanting to leave or whatnot, that's what you want to see from him. You want to see him bringing that experience, bringing that winning mentality, bringing sort of the stature that he's got into the game in a positive way. Some of these younger players, you know, giving them that sort of G-up that they need. So it's not earth-shattering, but it's a positive note, especially in the face of all this criticism he's had and all these stories about, oh, can Ten Hag work with him? Is he going to be any use to him at all? Is it going to be counterproductive having Ronaldo still at the club? All that other nonsense we've heard. And I think the little things like that, they matter, and it shows you that he's got a role in his team, even coming off the bench at a minute, and he's willing to do that. Not only is he willing to do it, he's doing the kind of things you want him to do. Making himself busy at the business end of the pitch. Also being a sort of a leader as well to some of the younger players, which is needed. So I was pleased to see that from Cristiano Ronaldo, and I think little things like that can make a difference. Sean Lives here, welcome to the first team. Thanks for your support. You can get involved in the members section of this channel as well. Don't forget as well, if you're not doing, to hit that like button. Give us a like. Over 700 people watching, only 79 likes. That is a disgrace. Yeah, so Ronaldo, perhaps all isn't, you know, rotten, as people would say. We can see that. He was celebrating at the end. He was doing Instagram posts. He was, you know, hugging his teammates and everything. He looks like he, you know, he's all right with everything. And I think Ronaldo's one of them. If he's not happy, you know about it. I don't think he's one of them who can just pretend to be proper buzzing when he isn't. So I think that's one sort of issue, if we can call it that, dealt with for now, anyway, shall we say. Now, moving on to Antony. Antony's been upsetting a few people. Don't worry, though, it's not United fans. So, Antony there, you can see from the graphic, his debut spats through. Basically, there's a few stories doing the round. There's one in the Daily Mail this morning that Antony was left fuming after Manchester United completed the 85 million... Ajax, not Antony. Ajax were left fuming after Manchester United completed the £85 million signing of the Brazilian winger Antony on deadline day. It goes on to say here, there's been an interview with Ajax sporting director Jerry Hamstra, who told The Telegraph, Manchester United's timing was so bad. The last few days of the window, basically, became even more hectic after Ajax had already gone through a major rebuild of the squad following the departure of lots of top-class players. It's so difficult to leave our manager with such a void. We all think we lost too many first-team players who always start. We had a summer with totally different expectations. So he's a bit unhappy with the fact that Antony left, and also the manner of it as well, because he upset a few people basically going on strike. Just let everyone know, I want to go, I want out of here. And as soon as Manchester United were willing to pay the money that Ajax wanted, that was pretty much done. And Ajax haven't had a great time with it. Have they with some of these players wanting to leave? You had Martinez basically telling Hamstra, calling him an effing nobody. And said, you're only here because Overmars had to leave. And yeah, I think Martinez sort of went into his office, apparently, according to reports, and just demanded to leave. You've got Antony, who's more or less went on strike. So these players have just engineered this move, if you will, which from a United point of view is good because we wanted him and we've got him. But from an Ajax point of view, it's left them fuming. It's left Hamstra annoyed, and it's left, Ajax with very little time from maneuver. They did, I think, manage to get a deal over the line, didn't they, in the end? They got, was it the lad from Sevilla, Lucas Campos, but yeah, there was talk of them getting Hakim Ziyech back one there, but that didn't happen. So yeah, Ajax are upset. We've seen that Antony was making the Arsenal fans fume with his celebration. I love the fact that he celebrated and then went and got a ball, stuck it under his football shirt and did his little baby celebration as well. That annoyed him even more. So you love to see it, don't you? I love to see rivals and people upset. Ajax, I do feel a little bit sorry for him because it's not nice when players go on strike and do things like that and engineer a move. And obviously they wanted to keep him. We'd already took the manager. We've already took the centre back. They've already lost other players as well. And then we come in for the one of the best attackers. It must have been incredibly frustrating. So you can kind of see where Hamstra's coming from. But from a United point of view, tough, innit? I mentioned Martinez earlier as well. Now, Martinez, there's a bit of footage doing the rounds of him and Gabriel Jesus, because after the game, there was all these sort of mini meltdown by Arsenal fans, because that's what they always do, don't they? They always have this meltdown where, all the injustice, or, oh, you know what, we won the moral victory, or, oh, did you see that decision that didn't go our way? And we've had this so many times, and it's just proper boring. We've had this for years. I did a tweet the day of the game, and do you remember when we ended their unbeaten league run, which was kind of funny because, that was one of the games where we did kick them all over the pitch and we did get a dodgy penalty when Ruud van Nistelrooy scored it, you remember. But yeah, there's always some sort of moaning going on from the Arsenal contingent. Now, one of the things they were moaning about was a challenge by Martinez on Jesus, which they say, was reckless or whatever, and he should have got maybe sent off or booked at least for it or whatever. But if you actually look, there's footage emerged of Jesus kicking out of Martinez off the ball. He's booted him, basically, off the ball. Now, Martinez has done Jesus a bit of a favour. He's not made a meal of it and he's not reacted. But if that gets spotted, it's probably a red card. Like, if you're going to start moaning about decisions and the injustice of it all and all this other drivel that Arsenal fans come out with, then you need to take a look at your own players and what they were doing. Because Jesus, who everyone's lording over, and he's just been an amazing signing for Arsenal and how wonderful he is and how much quality he brings to the team and all this other stuff. And he is a good player. I'm not denying the fact he's a good player, but he still left Old Trafford with no points and no goals. So, it's not like he's this amazing force that won in the game. And he's actually, got away with one, because had that been spotted, that kick on Martinez, he would have been leaving with a red card as well and he'd be banned for 3 games. So if you're going to start moaning, have a look at yourselves before you start going on and on about Odegaard wasn't a foul on Eriksen and all this other nonsense that I've seen, and Martinez should have had a yellow or should have been sent off, and Antony was a disgrace, and just moaning constantly. Just deal with it, man. This is just Arsenal epitomised. Daniel Kirk says Ronnie is so desperate to be the best that he will work his way back into the team and score goals eventually, which can only be a good thing. Love you, Jay. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for that message and thank you for that support. Knight says Ben White and Jesus both kicked out. Yeah. I mean, it was going on. It was one of those games where it wasn't a dirty game, but there was a little bit of agony going on. And I don't think, you lose your mind over it. I don't think it's a big deal. It's like, okay, do you know what I mean? It's Arsenal and United games have always been, had that little bit of an edge to them, haven't they? Going back to the Keane Vieira days. Going back to before the Keane Vieira days. I'm old enough to remember when we had a 21-match man brawl, in the middle of the Old Trafford pitch, when points got deducted. I think we got a point took off us and Arsenal got 2 for the violence that went on when everyone was just fighting. And I think the funny thing at the end of that was I think one person got booked. It was like a big fight, a big riot. Everyone involved. Shocking, my mate was well involved in it all. And yeah, he didn't even get booked for it. It was funny. Cody Hayes, member of the Academy for 21 months, says Antony's doing a Van Persie. 21 is coming. Simon Cowett, listen, you might say that, I'm probably 2 more wins away from saying it. Simon Cowie says, Jay, what's wrong with Ronaldo? It's not his attitude. What's wrong with he's nearly 40 and his legs are done. That's Ronaldo's problem. And we have so many Ronaldo fanboys and girls, they don't want to accept it. Are his legs done? Do you think that? I don't know. I don't know if his legs are done. I don't know if it's just more a case of he wanted to leave. He's not quite the player that what Ten Hag sees in fitting into this system. I still think Ronaldo's got a job to do and will do a good job for Manchester United. Let's not forget he scored, was it 24 goals last season, 18 Premier League goals. I don't think over the summer he's gone. I just don't. I think he still has something to offer. And I think he's still trying at United. You know, when you see him, he's not giving up. He hasn't. And also, let's face facts, right? You're an Arsenal defender. Cristiano Ronaldo's coming on the pitch, coming off the bench. You're not going to be buzzing about it, are you? You've got to deal with Ronaldo. And he brings certain things to the game that none of our other strikers do, or attackers, I should say. Like in the air, for example, he's one of the best headers of the ball on the planet. And I would never say that about Marcus Rashford. And I love Marcus Rashford. That's not his forte. But when you've got Ronaldo in your team and you've got a set piece, you've got a chance. We saw it last season, didn't we? So, you know, there's that element. There's the fact that he has got all that experience. He knows he can finish. Yes, he's not scored yet this season, but I still think he's got a lot to offer. Probably would have been better if he had moved on, right? And we'd have got someone else in. I think that would have been the perfect answer. He wanted to go, he moves on, and we get someone else in to replace him. But the fact that he didn't, you know, we are short of out-and-out strikers. You've got Martial, who's injured. He's played 45 minutes so far this season. Marcus, who's been doing well down the middle recently, even though many people probably argue he's better coming in off the left. Maybe that's where he'll fit in once Martial comes back into the team. I don't know. Maybe there's a decision there for Ten Hag to make. But you do need options. And Cristiano Ronaldo is a hell of an option. And it's weird at the moment because you've got Ronaldo, who's not getting in the team, 5-time Champions League winner. You've got Casemiro, who's not getting in the team. I don't think you can say it's fitness with Casemiro now. I think you could have put him in against Arsenal if you wanted. I think it's just Scott McTominay's playing so well. Ten Hag decided to go with him, and he was fully justified. Scott McTominay had a fantastic game, and I've not always been, you know, one of his biggest supporters over the last couple of seasons. I thought last season in particular, like many of his teammates, he had a bit of a stinker. But this season, especially his last few games, he's been phenomenal. Addy Chris says, Jay, this is classic, Arsenal. They never lose. Ooh, it's counter-attack. Ooh, it's a feather that tickles Walcott. Ooh, it's the rain. Excuses, idiot. Yeah. Santa Notch says, we're not prepared for Ronaldo's massive fanfare in the Europa League. Rebecca Jade O'Sullivan says, I'm looking forward to Thursday to see who he puts out. There's another story, actually, I'll mention on that on the Thursday front, that was doing the rounds. And this was just one, I think this is in the Manchester Evening News. Dan Brown. Didn't he write the Da Vinci Code, or is that different, Dan Brown? Yeah, he's been down at training. Well, he's had access to the pictures. I don't know if he was down there and just got sent the pictures. And he was talking about maybe Zidane, Iqbal and Garnacho could feature against Sociedad. So yeah, it's he was saying, looking at the training sessions that went on, that they looked like they were involved. I mean, you would expect youngsters to take part, wouldn't you, in the Europa League? I think that we've got, obviously, you know, the games are coming thick and fast. You've got certain players who've got a bit of experience, who've not really been used much. Casemiro, I don't know if he might get a start in the Europa League. It's mad to say that, and it's a 5-time Champions League winner. Even Ronaldo, is he going to play in the Champions League? In the Europa League, sorry. Could that happen? I mean, I don't know. What are your options here? What are you going to do? Do you go for this trophy? And I think you should. I know I'm probably in the minority there, but I think the Europa League, it's a trophy. And it's Champions League football if you win it. I don't know. I know it's not easy because the league's your bread and butter and you have to rotate and people aren't going to stomach going and watching. You know, when Jose gave up on the league in January and we were getting like beat off and drawing with the likes of Swansea and Hull and all that lot, and everyone was like, what is this nonsense? But it paid off because we got in the Champions League via the Europa League, and obviously, you know, Stockholm was a fantastic night and a great achievement, especially what had gone on. But yeah, I don't know if Eric Ten Hag can afford to do that because it was a risky gamble, and we got away with it, didn't we? Was it the semis where, you know, we almost got knocked out? So yeah, let us know what you think anyway. Do you think we should go for it in Europa League? Do you want to see some of the youngsters being given a chance? We saw how well the youngsters did in pre-season. We saw the likes of Savage, the likes of Zidane Iqbal as well. How well those two players performed. We know we have lost James Garner. He went to Everton. He did a post as well, James Garner. I don't know if you saw it. He did a post about sort of farewell post, said all the right things as you'd expect, and I wish him well at Everton. I think he's got his work cut out. I'm not going to lie to you with that team. But I know they got a point against Liverpool, but You know, yeah, he might have a bit of a rude awakening working with some of them lot. But yeah, we wish him well. Just on the Antony front as well, sorry, I forgot to mention this. I should have mentioned this earlier. There were some quotes from Antony as well. He was talking about his debut, and he said, "From the moment I stepped onto the pitch, I already had goosebumps because I know how much I wanted to be here, and I know how much the crowd wanted this." Great to hear those sort of things. And he also said on his goal, Marcus passed the ball to perfection, so when it came, there was not much more I had to do. I saw the goalkeeper, and the ball just came perfectly to me to place it as I did. I was very happy to just go with my instinct. Yeah, it was a bit of an underrated pass, that Marcus, because he had a few players around him, inch perfect. I know it wasn't a very far pass, but Antony didn't need to take a touch, and it was good to see him getting on the score sheet and rubbing it in Arsenal fans' faces as well. Philip Banwell says, "Let's go Brazil." Yeah, we've got a few Brazilians now, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? Chris Naylor says, "Thursday team, Aaron Wan-Bissaka." Who? Magel, what? Shaw, Casemiro, Fred, Donny van der Beek. Donny van der Beek, yeah. I must be becoming the forgotten man again. Do you know what I mean? All this talk of, Casemiro and Fred and whether McTominay's going to keep his place, whatever. Where's Donny fit into this team? Is his role in the Europa League? It's a bit weird, isn't it? John Cowell says, "How's the legs after your 11k, Jay?" Just about recovered. Yeah. It's not very often I go past that 10k mark. I did 11k the other day. Thanks for that, John. Thanks for asking, bro. Chris Naylor says, "Oh, Maguire Lindelof. Sorry, I wonder what is Magaloff. That's the Maguire Lindelof, like McFred. Right, okay, I'm with you." So his team, Chris Naylor's team, as he said, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Maguire Lindelof, Shaw, Casemiro, Fred, Donny van der Beek, Garnacho, Ilango, Ronaldo. That kind of makes sense to me, that. Something like that. A bit of a mixture there of experience and youth as well. It's weird, isn't it? Because Maguire needs game time as well. I know he came on as a sub the other day, but he could probably do with playing a full 90. Sure, we've not really seen much of him this season since the first couple of games. Yeah, Fred's been used more of a sub, and Donny van der Beek, like I mentioned, becoming the forgotten man. Ilanga, who was playing, now it looks like with Antony coming in, his opportunities may be a bit more limited. So there's options there for Erik ten Hag. We will be doing a preview, obviously, for the Sociedad game. We'll also have the watch along as well, so make sure you're checking all that out. Make sure you are hitting subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. There's a link in the chat. It's a pin chat as well. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. What gets us 700,000 subscribers by the end of the season, and with your support, we can do it. You may have already seen on our socials as well that Joe Smith and Adam McCullough were on the overlap chatting to Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher and some Muppets from the Arsenal Fan TV, or whatever they call themselves nowadays as well, talk about Arsenal and United. So make sure you check that out. That's going to, I think, is that up on the channel later today? What's the script with that? Yeah, that'll be up on our channel later on today, so you can check all that out. It's good stuff to see Joe and Maka taking Carragher to task on some of the things he said about Lisandro Martinez, because we all love Martinez, don't we? And we love Antony as well. Well, Ajax don't, but we do. I'm going to leave it there. I've been Jay. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for everyone who got involved, and thanks for watching.